If you are a complete beginner to crypto airdrops and you want to know how you can actually get started earning free money from different crypto ecosystems, then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm going to break down for you what an airdrop is, why you want to be farming them, the best strategies for farming them, and I'll tell you how I go about managing my airdrop farming because it can get complicated. So for starters, what is a crypto airdrop? It is essentially when you get rewarded for being an early user to a blockchain or an application built on a blockchain. And that reward comes in the form of a token or a cryptocurrency that is airdropped to your crypto wallet. So for example, when Optimism and Arbitrum did their airdrops, they were rewarding people that interacted early on with their layer 2 Ethereum blockchain. And then on the other hand, more recently, the Jito team dropped Jito tokens to people that staked their Solana with that particular application on the Solana blockchain. So that's an app airdrop. Sometimes the tokens you get rewarded with literally just show up or get airdropped into your wallet, like the second round of the Optimism airdrop. But other times you have to manually go to a website and claim the tokens. For example, with the recent Celestia airdrop, you had to claim that one, and if you didn't before the end of the claim period, then your tokens were redistributed to other people that qualified. And what we are trying to do now is interact with as many different early stage blockchains and blockchain applications so that we can qualify for as many airdrops as possible in 2024 and beyond. And hopefully we'll be able to replicate some of the previous successes because I've earned at this point 5 figures from airdrops in 2023, and I'm hoping to increase that to 6 figures plus in 2024 and beyond. So now that we know what an airdrop is, how can we actually get them? And behind me, you'll see an infographic that was created by someone on Twitter called Mr. Loomis that lists a variety of different potential airdrops that you could get in 2024. Now, at this point, I'm going to tell you flat out that it will be impossible for you to qualify for every single airdrop, and you definitely have to pick and choose your battles. Each different blockchain has different ecosystems of layer 2s and layer 3s and applications, and you won't be able to farm them all. So what I recommend for starters is dipping your feet in the water, picking a couple, and then experiencing how it actually works, and then expanding your horizons from there. As for me personally, I am most heavily focused on 3 ecosystems, which is the Ethereum ecosystem, including all of the layer 2s. Then there's the Solana ecosystem with a lot of up and coming airdrops for different applications. And then there is the Cosmos ecosystem with many different app chains where you can be rewarded for just holding and staking tokens like Atom and Celestia or TIA tokens. And I have experimented with a variety of other different airdrops, including different L1 blockchains and different free/testnet airdrops, some of which I'll probably cover on the channel at some point. But like I said, those 3 are my main ones. And if you have a limited amount of capital and time to allocate towards airdrop farming, you're also going to have to whittle things down. Now, once you've decided which ecosystems you want to focus on, the next step is to decide how much capital and time you're willing to invest in this, because that's going to determine how many wallets you should be farming with and what type of airdrops you should be farming. Because even within the Ethereum ecosystem, for example, there are free and testnet airdrops that you can farm, like the Tycho layer 2 airdrop. And then there's others that require a significant amount of capital. So for example, the Linea airdrop, and to complete some of the transactions on the Linea chain were actually quite expensive. And then with some different applications like staking on EtherFi or EigenLayer, with those you really get rewarded for having a significant amount of capital. So you have to decide how much money you're willing to put towards airdrop farming and how much time you have. Now let's talk about the amount of money that you need per wallet to successfully farm airdrops. If we're talking about the Solana ecosystem, you can probably fund each new wallet with $100 to $200 and really accomplish quite a lot because the transaction fees are super low and it's not actually that expensive to use the network to make deposits into DeFi platforms and to trade. If we're talking about the Ethereum ecosystem, it's a little bit more expensive to make transactions, and there's a lot of cases where if you have a lot more capital, you can do more with it. So if you have thousands of dollars to invest in airdrop farming, some of these restaking or ETH staking protocols are probably going to have really solid airdrops. And then there's also a lot of the different applications that are going to reward people that deposit liquidity or that trade a high value amount on their different apps. So if you're starting out completely from scratch and you have a limited amount of money, I might recommend actually starting with Solana or starting with an Ethereum layer 2 that has cheap transactions like Scroll or ZK Sync. The next consideration is the amount of time that you have to allocate to this, because as you can see with this checklist, what I'm trying to do here is with each wallet that I'm farming airdrops, I'm trying to complete transactions on as many of these different applications as I can on all of these different Ethereum layer 2s. And so this can be quite time consuming. Now, if you have a lot of time, I recommend farming airdrops with multiple different wallets. But this leads me to a super important point, which is if you're going to farm airdrops with multiple different wallets, make sure that you do not send money between them. You have to keep them completely separated and siloed. So when you fund a fresh wallet for airdrop farming, you should send ETH to it from a centralized exchange where it actually won't be linked to your other wallets. And the same thing applies for Solana or for Atom tokens, whatever you're doing. Now, for me personally, within the Ethereum ecosystem, I have about 3 wallets that I'm actively farming at about the same level. And then I have another 2 or 3, including this wallet that I use for demos on the channel, where I just do a couple of random things here and there, but I'm not all in on it. So in total, that's about 5 or 6 Ethereum wallets. Then I have 3 Solana wallets and 4 Cosmos ecosystem wallets. So that's my setup. I'm farming multiple airdrops with multiple wallets in multiple ecosystems. And you can see that it gets pretty complicated pretty quickly. So that's why I've built this checklist here, and I've got one for Ethereum and Solana, and I'll be adding one for the Cosmos ecosystem soon, because this really helps me keep track of everything that I'm doing. Now, if you have really a limited amount of time, but you still want to get some airdrops in 2024, a good approach would be to actually participate in the Cosmos ecosystem airdrops, where really all you have to do is hold some tokens and stake them, and then you can get some decent airdrops. So recently, Celestia stakers have been rewarded with 4 or 5 airdrops at this point, as well as Atom stakers. And there's also a bunch of other chains within that ecosystem like Injective and Kujira, where stakers are being rewarded. And that doesn't actually require you to come back and push a bunch of transactions. All you have to do is stake a certain amount, a couple $100 usually is enough per wallet, and then just by staking it and holding it, you're good to go. Whereas with a lot of these Ethereum airdrops, you have to actively come back and continue interacting with them. Now on my channel, I've done full walkthroughs of these checklists for both Solana and Ethereum, where I show you step by step what you need to do to complete them. So I'm not actually gonna walk you through the full thing here, but where does this leave us at this point? Basically, what it boils down to is this. Crypto airdrops are free money that you get for being an early adopter of these different applications and blockchains. If you want to farm them with multiple wallets, make sure that you create each wallet and fund it separately from a centralized exchange so they can't be linked together. Third, pick the blockchain in the ecosystem based on what you're actually working with. If you have more time and more money, then the Ethereum ecosystem is a good one to farm. If you have a smaller amount of money, but you have a reasonable amount of time, then you can do a lot on Solana. And if you have some money and literally no time, then staking and holding Atom tokens and Celestia, as well as Injective and Kuji, is a good bet, because that is a low effort airdrop farming strategy. Beyond that, my recommendation is to go through checklists like this and just step by step interact with as many of these different applications, protocols, and blockchains as you can. Follow people on Twitter that are providing useful tutorials on how to farm airdrops, and don't try to do it all, because you just won't be able to. You'll get exhausted and you'll probably burn out pretty quickly. I'll post links to the tutorial videos that I did where I walked through the Ethereum and the Solana checklist. So hopefully you find those helpful, and good luck in your airdrop farming pursuits. If you want to subscribe to this channel, I regularly bring step-by-step tutorials on how to qualify for specific airdrops, as well as now some updates on news in airdrops, and I'll make sure that you stay up to date on what you need to know to qualify for the maximum amount of airdrops in 2024. So hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching and have a great day.